The photo booth strip she got in the mail was not us. The envelope looked like a wedding, cream, heavy, my name written in a hand that thought it knew me. Lee set it on the kitchen island as if it might try to crawl away. Our kettle hissed obligingly, the oscillating fan clicked its 20th useless click, and somewhere a garbage truck sang its morning hymn. Inside, 4 glossy photo booth frames, black and white scalloped edges. 2 people in the Bellwether's Sky lobby booth, head to head, then cheek to cheek, then his mouth on her neck, then her kiss soft and certain on his mouth. In each frame, the tilt of his face belonged to me. The watch, the scar on the jawline. The woman's profile was unhelpfully unhelpful, silver dress, hair in a knot that meant intent, familiar in the way strangers sometimes are when you want an alibi. "There's a note," Lee said, voice level. "She runs a tenants clinic that sues buildings into remembering they are for people. I manage other people's fires and keep keys for doors that pretend to be puzzles. Between us, we do not scare easily. Between us and the booth strip, the note was a blade. For your scrapbook, J. I do not sign letters to my girlfriend with my initial like a man who wants to be caught. I do not mail evidence. I had fallen asleep last night with Lee on top of me, teaching my mouth to forget the agenda I was cursing, and the fan had failed to click, and I had almost sued it in my head. "Say it," Lee said. "Honeysuckle," I said, adding our ridiculous password and loving how fast it repairs a room. She fanned the strip in her fingers the way you cool a witness after they say the thing that saves a case. "Sky Lobby's booth," she said. "Their print border, their light." "And their brand of trouble," I said. Tonight the commission would vote on Verdon's harbor deck overlay, 3 hotel floors renamed wellness micro-residences, which counts as housing if you own a meditation app and a legal team. I was slated to testify that Crown's newest trick, access mesh for fun, confuses courtesy with consent. Lee had written the memo that made their calendar tremble. A scandal would buy Verdon a month, and Murmur Labs a salon upstairs with prompt cards, canapes, and a rumor pinned where coats go. My phone buzzed, with a timing you could set a meeting by. "Unknown, for dignity consider sitting tonight out. We can handle the vote without spectacle. Sable Murmur." Of course it was Sable. Murmur sells shortcuts as strategy and invoices as inevitability. Lee tipped the strip to the light and found the thing I didn't want to see, a faint watermark barely there, a little crown in the corner. Crown prints their confession into everything now. On the back, a QR code for Share Your Story. The landing page wore Sky Lobby's font. The domain wore Crown's smile. "Jono," Lee said, already texting. "Then Kira. Then the Bellwether's mailroom. Then the chair. And between the second and third of those, I reserve the right to collect what I am now owed." Jono lives above a bakery and treats forensic software like a winter religion. By 6:22, the booth's QR sat on one screen and Crown's memory mesh spec on another, cheerful palettes for unkind nouns. He fed the strip under a loop, sighed once like a man in love with a problem, and set his fingers dancing. "Ghost prints," he said. "Memory mesh has a partner mode, courtesy reprint, that lets brands mail special edits to VIPs. It can replace a face with a trusted likeness trained on 3 photos and a signed consent you definitely didn't give. The watermark says preview run, not production. They pushed a dev pipeline into postage." He dragged a slider and made the pixels confess. "See the contrast curve," he said. "The shadows are lab-corrected, not chemical, and this line along your jaw, resize halo. They upscaled a face that wasn't there." "Who requested the reprint?" Lee asked. "Partner ID MURMR," he said. "Fulfillment by Crown Post. address from publicly available property tax records, postage paid by Verdant Hospitality because of course it was. My phone buzzed again, because the day had a sense of humor. Unknown, photo memories are public stories, not private matters. Keep that in mind. Sable. If memory is a public story, privacy is an instrument, Lee said, pocketing the strip. Let's go break theirs. Kiera met us at Sky Lobby with a folder and the posture of a person who is trying to forgive herself for choosing hospitality in a city that keeps asking for decency. I canceled tonight at 7:07, she said. Verdant can eat dinner downstairs without calling it culture. We found a queue of courtesy reprints in the booth's back end. I did not approve them. I am going to discover which of my staff thought they worked for Murmur. She slid a printed stack across the bar. Memory Mesh API, Trusted Likeness Training Guidelines, Romance Edits, and a CSV dump of last night's booth sessions. There is no session with your face in it. There is a session with the dress I recognize. Tamsin. Of course Tamsin had used the booth. She does it like sport. Tamsin Arledge, my old noun for the decade I try not to be nostalgic about, Verdant's favorite consultant in black silk. She and I had been almost a story once and then we hadn't, because a city can't afford that kind of hobby. So Murmur took Tamsin's frames and made an us to mail to my morning, I said. Memory is a product now, Kiera said. Sorry, that sounded like something I'm paid to say. Let me try again, I'm disgusted, will testify. We went downstairs to the Bellwether mailroom because you never get to skip the mundane if you want to win a room. The clerk, a woman with a bun that meant competence and a pen behind her ear that meant war, looked at the envelope and nodded. Crown pickup at 2:10, she said. No signature, they have a bin. They call it outgoing joy. I call it nonsense. Will you sign an affidavit calling it nonsense? Lee asked. I will sign an affidavit calling it nonsense in 3 languages, the clerk said, taking a form from a stack that proved she had been waiting for this. We still had 40 minutes before the chair would text bring that, and Lee still had a promise to collect. In our hallway she pinned me against the door, undid my belt with the economy I fell in love with and climbed onto me. It wasn't obscene. It was policy. Her mouth found the hinge below my collarbone and turned my body into something other than a witness. When she said, say it, I did, because rituals inoculate. Honeysuckle. By 9, the packet sat on the chair's desk. Kiera's dump and cancellation. Crown's courtesy reprint spec with trusted likeness circled like a bruise. Jono's halo notes. The mailroom affidavit that used the word nonsense twice. The building thread. And Sable's text inviting me to sit for dignity as if the word belonged to her. The hearing room was full of people who have learned to breathe while waiting to be told who they are. Verdant's counsel said vibrant and wellness and micro-residences like a man paying for vowels by the yard. Crown's manager sat with the attentive misery of a product owner whose roadmap had learned the word subpoena. Sable leaned on the back rail, a study in gleeful restraint. Tamsin arrived, unsurprised and watching. Mr. Hale, the chair said. I held up the strip on the projector, and then Kiera's API page, and then the mailroom affidavit. This morning my girlfriend received memories of me in an elevator with someone who wasn't her, I said. Crown's memory mesh mailed a courtesy reprint trained on my face without my consent. Murmur Labs ordered romance edits from a test queue. Verdant stamped it with postage. We are not postponing. We do not trade a calendar for curated intimacy. Lee followed and made verbs behave. Clinic first, she said. Escrow with teeth. Cameras that go blind within a block of any door marked clinic. Band partner triggered anything, access mesh, memory mesh, doc flow, care sync, from agreements that touch public money. And please engrave this where rooms can see it. No simulated or staged intimacy, photographic, medical, financial, shall be used to influence a public decision. Kiera stepped into the well and committed the kind of treason that makes me like brands again for 10 minutes. Sky Lobby cancels all salons tied to tonight, she said. Bellwether regrets thinking conversation could be curated out of harm. Memory mesh trusted likeness is disabled on our machines. We will not be a printer for rumors. Sable did not clap. She did not blink fast. She watched the votes stack like chairs at the end of a good meeting. "We vote," the chair said, and struck the gavel like a mercy. The overlay failed. The ordinance we have been carving out of other people's mornings finally took a breath without gasping. Escrow lands first. Crown's partner-triggered modules, access, memory, doc flow, care sync, comfort, are illegal in any agreement touching housing or civic process. Cameras go blind near clinics, and the line I taped above our kettle an hour later. No simulated intimacy or credential shall be used to influence public decisions. After, in the alley where the city cools its nonsense, Sable leaned against Brick and smiled at us as if we were the one part of the day that had not wasted her. "You two are catastrophically bad at being useful to me," she said. "You are catastrophically fond of our bed," Lee said. "Bring escrow, bring verbs, leave our faces in our house." Sable tilted her head. "Tell the chair her adjective discipline is weaponized," she said. "Tell Crown their survival instinct might get them invited back to a bar. Tell Kiera she can come to the kind of party I actually like." "You could stop," I said. "I could," she said. "But then who would force you to practice being boring?" We walked home with our hands in each other's back pockets because rumor loves a parade and we prefer to choose the route. The block thread had pivoted to a photo of Mrs. Alvarez's cat looking judgmental on a radiator. Someone posted a casserole schedule. Someone else apologized for enjoying gossip. Kiera texted a photo of the booth with a sign that said paper only for now. The bartender texted a photo of water. We taped the strip inside the cupboard with the other ugly receipts, QR menus with tracking pixels, lipstick bands that weren't ours, prenatal reminders from sandboxes, folios for rooms under plastic, leases that tried to move us into ducts, itineraries that lived in cash, brass tags from roses sent by partnerships. Not trophies. Topography. Later, in the blue slice the city cannot monetize, Lee lay across me and put her ear where my chest tells the truth in a language older than any spec sheet. "Do you forgive me for the blink?" she said, before the word worked. "I forgive us both," I said. "The point of a good lie is to find who still blushes." "You blush," she said. "Only when you cross-examine me like that," I said. "There will be other pictures," she said. "There will be," I said. "Bring your knot, bring your mouth, bring the word, we'll keep choosing what belongs in our scrapbook."